For Horns Are Rocks, this is Joe Shufton, and I got Travis Ryan from CATTLE Decapitation on the phone. How are you, man?
Pretty damn decent.
And how's been the response of the crowd to your new songs from Monolith Of Inhumanity?
That's the funny part, is the best part about at least for our portion, is people are responding more to the newer stuff than the older stuff, by a lot. We even have like our first ever probably pylon parts, apparently, where everybody tries to sing the chorus to one of our new songs, which I thought was interesting. We're all kind of tripping out on that because that's more of a hardcore band kind of thing, not really our thing, but it's interesting. And the people have really been taking to the new record, which is a good thing, I guess. You know, at the end of the day, when we're trying to move forward, and their reaction kind of tells us we're doing the right thing, which is cool.
Right, and what do you think is setting apart this album from your previous 6 albums? Because this is your 7th, man. That's awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
I'm the first person to acknowledge that it's our 7th, because nobody seems to remember the first 2.
No, right.
It's just funny, yeah. It's our 7th one, our 5th one on Metal Blade, and definitely the difference is having played so many years on the road in different rooms and doing different, just different scenarios, and we have a new bass player that changed things a tad. I think the new stuff is still very CATTLE Decapitation. It's just got a little more of a metal edge or something like that, or more of a cleaner edge to it as well, which is a little surprising. It's similar to our last record, Harvest Floor, but only in the fact that we've really stepped up in the songwriting. I felt like Harvest Floor was light years ahead of the rest of the records, and the new one, I feel, has trumped that one as well, which was, going into it, we knew we had to do something special because the Harvest Floor was so well received. We want to be able to crush every record we do with the new one, So it's always, our new record is always our best one, kind of thing. And luckily that stays true for us, or at least it has up until this point. And fans and reviews and people like that agree. That's cool. I mean, it just shows us we're going in the right direction for, luckily, because we only write what we want to do, and what we want to play, and what we want to hear. We don't really consider anybody else in the mix when we're doing that. This one I listened personally a little more to the fans of what they wanted to hear out of the vocals, and apparently it looks like I'm delivering what they wanted, which is cool. It's what I wanted to hear and what I wanted to explore more. I was just not sure, and the kids were like, no, do more of that. So I was like, all right, cool, sure.
And I totally agree with what you said. It definitely shows the band evolving, but it has your signature sound, which, you never want to go away from, because that's first and foremost what made CATTLE Decapitation globally known. Your brutal sound, which has like so many different elements to it. So why don't we kind of go back a little bit and how you kind of established that signature sound?
I think it was really established on the first couple of records, Human Jerky and Hollow Whore. It had this aesthetic of just kind of almost death metal-y, but it was way too grind, immersed in the grind kind of sound, and was almost like a mud mix of the two, So it was trying, what we've done ever since, I guess, is maintain that same level of, intensity or brutality or whatever, because it really shines through live. We've never been a recording band. Some bands are CD or record bands, and some bands are live bands. We're more of a live band. So we've been trying to capture that sound for last few records at least, and we're getting closer and closer to it, but it's always going to be different live. So I think one thing that's really led us to where we're at is trying to progress in the melodic and songwriting department while still maintaining that level of intensity and brutality that has to shine through live and on record first and foremost, because a record is forever. traditions, and as much as we are into old school death metal and all that stuff, we don't really wish to carry their torch exactly. It's more of just using those influences to create something new, and that's just what we've been doing. Mostly for the last few records. I think we really started dialing it in around Karma, Bloody Karma, but it's getting a lot more dialed in nowadays, especially with this new record.
Right, and will you tell us a little bit about the writing and production process, how it kind of differed from your previous, works?
Yeah, well, we've always gone with pretty, like as far as this style of music goes, we've gone with pretty unconventional producers, like Billy Anderson, Bill Matoyer on Humanure, who's more of a classic death metal producer. Billy Anderson's more known for, kind of grungy, stoner rock, kind of doom stuff. His specialty is he brings out the core sound in the band and adds a ton of low end to it, and of course, all sorts of other stuff. He was an awesome person to experiment with, and that was awesome. We just wanted to. The one thing that we've been trying to do is to move on and try to do something different on each record, and especially with the production on this one. Dave Otero had been wanting us to record us for years, and Josh was really curious as to what he could do with our stuff. So we took the plunge. Really, we kind of did it. I don't want to say blindly, but it was kind of, all right, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Are we going to, do we want to try something new, or do we want to trust what we know? And that would be, somebody like Billy or something. And we said, let's just fuck it. We're taking the plunge with the music as it is. It's totally, it's a lot. It's sort of in a different direction as it is. As it's a lot heavier than usual and a lot more, like I said, metal parts. So we went with, we took a shot in the dark with Dave, and he ended up being an actual real producer and helping us craft the songs that the little parts that needed a little help, stuff like that, and actually like putting in his 2 cents. Some shit we used, some stuff we shot down. It was a really good relationship we had. I had a great fucking time with him. I didn't expect that just because I heard that he was kind of a hard ass and a whip cracker. But luckily I was extremely prepared, and there's very few things that we butted heads on, and if we did at all, it never got, anything intense or anything. But, just trying to do new stuff, trying to do something different without it being contrived or whatever. It's a fine line that we have to write music on extremely. Like, you have to keep that cattle intensity. We have to do something new. We have to do something that pushes the boundaries of what we did previously, and it's not as much of a nuisance as I thought it would be, but it is very challenging to have to do that. And even for me on the lyrical or thematic side of things, of course it's going to become more of a challenge because I don't want to repeat myself, and I don't want to be redundant, and I don't want to fall into the same category as everybody, most of the other death metal bands where they just put out the same fucking record every time, and we just don't want to do that. We'll quit before we do that,
Right, and why don't you tell us about the production of the video for Kingdom of Tyrants, which obviously came out recently. It's extremely what I would expect a video from you guys to be. Tell us a little bit about the whole concept of the video and the production of the video itself.
Well, that was another one where we took a big leap, we took a big leap out on a limb to see, what would happen. The guy, I saw his name is the director's name is Mitch Massey, and I saw his videos that he did for other bands. One of our friends' bands called All Leather, which is more of like a, electro punk kind of thing. It's got nothing to do with Cattle sound or this scene or anything. But seeing what he did, knowing that he was working in a closed set, which meant he could work with like close quarters. I could tell that it was done like in a garage or something like that. Seeing that, knowing that he's used to working actually, I could tell he can use his skills to make something out of nothing, sort of thing. And I've always admired people that can do that. And I think that that's what makes one thing that makes a great artist as well. And I got in contact with him, and I loved his personality. I loved how like enthusiastic he was. It almost worried me because he almost sounded more like a fan kind of guy. Like, oh, let's do this. Sometimes those kind of people, it's like, you just don't know. You don't know if you're going to get a quality piece, or maybe he just, happened to do a really cool video for this other band, but he really sucks. Who knows? You never know. But, and then when he sent me the tree, that's where I was like, because we're trading, what do you call it, like science fiction here, and that worries me because we've never been a band that's been into anything like that at all, thematically or whatever. But it totally tied into the theme of the album, and it was so out there, it was so bizarre that it was just like, fuck it, what do we do? What do we have to lose? Is the thing. This whole album is the what do we have to lose kind of thing. You know what I mean? It was literally taking shots in the dark on a few things, hoping that it wasn't that it didn't turn out totally shitty or whatever. We didn't see anything. He filmed this thing in Indiana. We had no idea until like he delivered it. When he delivered it, my first 3 minutes of it, I don't even think I blinked. Tears were coming out of my eyes because I was just so transfixed on the images. And I was the second, like first, I say 5 seconds in, I was just like, this huge wave of relief came over me because there's been this huge buildup to this video, to this album, to everything. We put so much effort and work and blood, sweat, and tears into it, and especially in the last 6 months of production and stuff, that all this stuff was just culminating, and it was very nerve-wracking. And then this huge wave of relief swept over me when I saw the first few frames. I was just like, oh, God, thank God. I can already tell it's going to be badass. And watched the whole thing, and I was just astounded. The guy is amazing. He just kept telling me this is the best and biggest thing I've ever done. And the whole crew, he's got a crew of people, and they were just everybody was freaking out, super stoked. I mean, I didn't even get to see stills until 5 days before we received the video or some shit like that. So I was just chomping at the bit, wanting to see what the hell we were going to be getting. And I'm just in love with the video. It's awesome. He pretty much came up with everything about it. It was one of those things. I've always been like Johnny, quality control on stuff, and like implementing the ideas, being the one to like implement the ideas, run it by the guys, make sure it's cool, and then make it go forward. And this one, it was like I just set it in his lap, and I was just like, here, dude. I mean, your stuff's fucked up. Here's I gave him, Ridley Scott, Harmony Korine, Matthew Barney as like director ideas. What I want to see as far as cinematography goes, and all that. But what he delivered, it was just, I'm amazed because of what people don't know about it, and that is the inner workings about it. It was just, which I don't even want to get into or talk about, but it was just he's an artist. He's a fucking genius, and he's probably gonna get a lot of work out of this one because this is just an incredible video, and he's an amazing dude. I can't wait to meet him. We meet him in a few days here in St. Louis, and we owe him a great deal because it's an amazing video. We've never been able to come out hard with video right off the bat and stuff. It's always months down the line or whatever. And we don't have management. We do all this pretty much ourselves, and it's a pain in the ass. So it's really cool that somebody can come through on the level that he did. We're amazed at the whole thing.
Oh, hell yeah, man. It came out awesome. And Travis, before we get out of here, what are the plans for the next 6 months to a year? Because obviously the record's coming out on May 8th, as we said before. So do you have any tour updates or anything you want to plug out there?
We have a huge tour that we just confirmed for July, and it's massive. I'm pretty sure I can't talk about it at all, but it's huge. I'm really surprised we're even on it, but there's that, and then that's in July, and then we have a European tour. We're going to go do a bunch of the big festivals in August. And pretty much, looks like June is going to be the only month we have open and not really doing anything. I plan to go home and go to the swap meet every weekend, look at people and shit, and just, relax for a month, and then get back out there and hammer it out again. And we're going to start trying to do more international tours and stuff. Less U.S. We're going to go for quality over quantity as far as U.S. goes, because we're kind of over the whole, 7 U.S. tours per album bullshit. It's just pointless. There's no reason to do that. And, we need to get out there and do more international shows anyway.
What is a market that you can't wait to play, whether it's a country, a continent? Where is the place that you're, like, focusing on and being like, I got to play there?
Australia. Fucking Australia. We've been hit up. We apparently have a ton of fans there, and we've been getting hit up by them for years, begging us to come, and it's such an expensive trip that it's just, it's one of those things. You got to wait for the timing to be right, and then somebody's got to, make an offer that makes sense, and it's been a pain in the ass. We've had 3 different times we were supposed to go there, and nothing materialized. And if we don't get out there on this album, who knows? But that's the place. That's the one place we absolutely need to go. And I'd love to go to Japan for once, but nobody's really barking up our tree, from there. So whatever. But it looks like we'll probably be doing some Southeast Asia stuff too. But Australia's the one. That's the one I really want to do.
All right, Travis, I want to thank you, man, for all the years of commitment to heavy music, man. And I want to wish you the best of luck with the release of Monolith of Inhumanity, if I can say it right, on May 8th via Metal Blade Records. And, hey, keep kicking ass on the record, on the tour. Just keep doing your thing, man.